The Eagles have just lost to the Giants last night, and that just opens up a wide variety for the NFC East for someone else to win this division, honestly. It's the 4-2 Eagles now have to worry about the 3-2 Commanders and the 2-1 Cowboys. And I know you guys might say like, "Oh, the Cowboys, they're not going to do anything," but they have a tough schedule. But the Eagles have a very tough schedule right now, and I believe like they can lose to the Vikings, they can lose to the Giants. They already did lose to the Giants. They could lose that again. You never know. And they have a tough 7 games. Or 8 games, I would say. The Chargers are a great team. Honestly, they have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. I'm not going to lie. They could lose a bunch of these games. I don't see them. I can see them winning versus the Vikings if they figure their stuff out. I can see them beating the Giants. But then the Packers, the Lions, the Cowboys at Dallas, they always split the series usually. So I would say Dallas ends up taking that. They'll probably beat the Bears. That would be a great game versus the Chargers. They'll probably beat the Raiders. The Commanders, you never know. I don't know. That's going to be a great game, honestly. Jaden Daniels versus Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts could figure it out and make throws happen, then they can win a bunch of these games. But right now, this offense for the Eagles has been honestly horrendous. They can't A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts can't figure it out together. Yeah, they had like 6. A.J. Brown had like 6 receptions for like 80 yards last night, but that's versus the Giants defense, which honestly played amazing last night with Flott having a pick going all the way down to the 30-yard line, and then the Giants just taking over and Scadaboo just running all over that defense. Honestly, Jackson Dart is like a stud, as we can see. He's playing amazing football, but they have to play the Bills, they have to play the Commanders twice, they have to play the Cowboys. This is a really tough schedule for these Eagles, and I could see them sneaking into a wild card, making the wild card, but I can see them losing the division very quickly with this schedule. So now we'll go to the Giants because we were just talking about how the Giants won. They have a tough schedule. They're rated the number 1 hardest schedule in the NFL, which honestly, this year, I believe the Eagles have a harder schedule right now. I could see the Giants winning a few games on this list, but I don't see them beating like a team like the Broncos, a team like I don't see them beating the Broncos, the Packers, the Lions. Like the Patriots can beat them. The Niners can beat them. Like teams like the Eagles should take care of business in Philly. Like I don't think there's enough games where the Giants can win that can make them a playoff team. Even though they are playing outstanding, they're playing out of their mind. They needed the change in quarterback. Like Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo has brought that team like together in a way, and they're like gelling on offense and they're gelling on defense. Brian Burns is all over the quarterback. He has like 7 sacks, 8 sacks on the season already. He has been playing outstanding. And Kayvon Thibodeau's getting off the edge very well and stopping the run. So, honestly, if the Giants could keep what's going on, I could see them winning a couple of these games. Like, I could see them even beating the Eagles. I could see them even beating the Broncos. I could see them beating the Niners. I could see them beating the Bears. I don't think they have a chance versus the Packers and the Lions. I can see them beating the Patriots. I can see them beating the Commanders at New York. It's gonna be a tough game versus Minnesota, but I can see them if they are gelling and if they keep playing like they're playing. They can't play like they played versus the Saints, where they took care of business in the first half and then they just ended up playing like garbage, honestly, in the second half, where Jackson Dart was just dropping the ball, fumbles all around, 5 turnovers for the Giants. But if they play like they played versus the Eagles, I could see them being a very good team and making a little run happen. But if they play like they played versus the Saints, I don't see anything happening with that team, and they'll just go back to being a good lottery pick. Now let's go to these Commanders. The Commanders' schedule, they play the Bears, then they play the Cowboys, then they play the Chiefs, then they play the Seahawks, the Lions, the Dolphins, the Broncos, the Vikings, the Giants, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. So, honestly, I can see the Commanders winning the division this year. They have a easier schedule than the Eagles. I could say that for a fact. And I think they'll take care of business versus the Bears this week. And versus the Cowboys, that's going to be a great game, an amazing game, I believe. And it can go either way, honestly. I think whoever wants it more, whoever wants to win that could be like a deciding of the division for the Cowboys or the Commanders, because that game's going to be very important, honestly. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels, they lost last year to a rough Cowboys team, honestly, to a no Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush was starting. Kevontae Turpin had a crazy kick return that game last year. And, yeah, it was an insane game last year. Defense stepped up, and then the defense just was obliterated on offense by Jaden Daniels near the fourth quarter, and then they scored a touchdown. Terry McLaurin, almost like I think it was a 80-yard touchdown for Terry McLaurin, and the PAT happened and shanked it. And then the onside kick, Cowboys took it back, touchdown, and that was the end, basically, which was a crazy game. And then they played the Chiefs. The Chiefs always, they've had a rough year, the Chiefs, so I can see the Commanders taking that game. The Seahawks have been good. Sam Darnold has been dealing. He's been playing good ball. Honestly, the Buccaneers just beat them 38-35 in a masterclass game. What a great game to watch, honestly. But the Seahawks have a good offense, good defense, can make a run, can do good things. But the Commanders also can do good things. They just beat the Chargers 27-10, which really didn't dictate that game. The Chargers were up 10-0, and then shenanigans happened for the Commanders. They were just winning that. They just turned up the heat, and Debo was playing amazing. Debo looks like Debo, finally. Then they play the Lions, which I think the Lions will probably beat the Commanders, because the Lions are a great team. The Dolphins, they're a good team. I think they can win, honestly. The Dolphins are rough this year. The Commanders will probably beat them. I think I just said the Dolphins are a great team. I did not mean to say that. They are an awful team this year. Tua's getting sacked by his own linemen. It's just been awful for the Dolphins this year. The Broncos, great team. I could see this being a great game. November 30th, Sunday Night Football. I think that would be a great game, honestly. Then they go play Minnesota at Minnesota, so that will be a great game to watch. Honestly, Minnesota, they need J.J. McCarthy back. Even though Carson Wentz has got them victories and wins, I just don't see Carson Wentz as their quarterback for the year. I think J.J. McCarthy will come back and start making better decisions. The Commanders versus the Giants, I think the Commanders will take that. Eagles versus Commanders, that might dictate the division. That might be a division game where it will be so important, where whoever wins that game will win the division. Same with the Week 18 game on it. And these last three games for the Commanders are the most important games if it's close division. If they lose these games, then they lose the division, basically. Now the Cowboys. The Cowboys have an easier schedule right now, and then it gets difficult. But I can see the Cowboys winning these games. It's not that bad, you know what I mean? So, the Cowboys play the Panthers. They should win that game this week. They should destroy these Panthers. Then, they play the Commanders. That's going to be a great game. If we can get that win in Dallas, then that'll be great. We win that game, go on. They'll play the Broncos, which that's going to be a rough game. That defense, Nick Bonito has 7 sacks on the season already. He is just all over the place on that defense, and it's going to be a good game, honestly. Then we play the Cardinals Monday Night Football. Cowboys should take care of business, but Kyler is great versus the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone wants to go off versus the Cowboys. Then we play the Raiders at 8:15, and I think that's a Thursday. No, we have the bye week, and then we come off the bye week and play the Raiders. We should beat the Raiders. Ashton Genty's going to be scary, but I think we should beat the Raiders. Geno has had an awful year this year, honestly. We should beat the Eagles. I could see us beating the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. We're not going to beat the Lions. I would be shocked if we beat the Lions. Then we play the Vikings. We should beat the Vikings on Sunday night. We low-key own the Vikings. Then we play the Chargers. We beat the Chargers on Monday Night Football a few years ago. I think 2022, 2021, 2023. 2023, I think. It was 2023. Yeah, Dak Prescott made the run to Tony Pollard throw. Gone. Then we play the Commanders Christmas Day. 1 o'clock. That's going to be a great game to tune into at Washington. I think we should take that game. And then I think I'll be at this game, the Cowboys versus the Giants. Hope that'll maybe dictate the division for the Cowboys, see if they can win the division. We have to win these divisional games to have a little bit of an edge versus these teams. But, yeah. So, those are my predictions for the NFC East. I think the Eagles are slipping. I think the Cowboys or the Commanders could take this division. And I think the Giants can even sneak into a playoff spot. All these 4 teams are good enough to make the playoffs this year, and I believe that. Thank you, Sports Network out. Thank you.